Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Smackdown review. Just once it would be nice to come here and say it wasn't a bad show, but I just can't do that. Uh, we started off with Carmella, and I like Carmella, really do, she did a good little cocky promo. She said everybody's ready for Asuka now. She was beaten by by Charlotte. She's undefeated. This brought Asuka out to the ring. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose follow. It can never just be one-on-one with anybody. I've explained this before. I am glad the Iconics haven't showed up in about like 2 or 3 weeks. It's maybe they finally figured out that these girls are not ready for TV. I mean, has anybody heard anything? You can leave a comment and let me know. But I'm pretty happy about them not being on the screen. I'd rather it be Mandy Rose and Deville, where there's actually some potential there. So Asuka wants both of them in the ring. Carmella says, take your pick. Pick one of these girls. She goes, the real Asuka would take both of them on. Paige gives her a choice. She picks both of them. Then they have the match, and she ends up beating both of them. And, she makes Sonya Deville tap out. I'm just like, there's so much potential in Sonya Deville. With the MMA background, they could have kept her on Raw. That could have been Ronda Rousey's real first opponent after, Stephanie and Triple H, obviously. But they could have had a nice little MMA feud. No such thing. She's just on SmackDown. She's just, whatever for Sonya Deville. Don't take advantage of her background. It was the same thing when they had Eve Torres. The girl was, training in MMA. She knew all these techniques, and they didn't take advantage of that. And I'm talking about something from fucking 6 years ago. But, I said it back then. I said you have all these opportunities to really develop their character, get them over. And it's like, how do they not see this? How is it a guy like me making a damn video on YouTube? A damn random like myself. How could they not see this? These big writers making these giant paychecks. They're paying them to write the most basic shit that that even a 10-year-old could write. Who couldn't write this? I mean, this takes no talent at all. It's not me being cocky or anything. Oh, you couldn't write a wrestling. How can anybody do any worse? Honestly, I need to ask the question. How can anybody do, obviously, any worse than they're doing right now? A goddamn chimpanzee throwing his shit against the wall. Well, which I said is probably how they do things in creative. They have Mr. I don't know, Mr. Ook, right? Mr. Ook is sitting in WWE Creative. And they put a bunch of ideas against the wall. They're all terrible, but, he picks up his shit. He launches it at whatever, post-it note they have on the wall with the idea written on it. Whatever the poop lands on, that's the idea they go with. And obviously when it comes to Sonya Deville, none of those little post-it notes say anything about getting her over based on her MMA skills. It's just something for Corey Graves to talk about. Oh, she's former MMA. Okay, great. Are we going to establish that? It's the same thing like what I talked about with Baron Corbin and the skulls. He collects human skulls. Oh, they mentioned that. They never mention it again. It's just, somewhere thrown out there. It would be nice to maybe see that in the promo. I mean, or something like that. But instead, Constable Corbin over on Raw, right? No human skulls, right? Human skull collector Corbin is a fucking constable now on Raw. So this is the kind of this is how they look at characters. They just throw things out. The Red Hot Rollins, it doesn't fucking even matter. Just everyone's a nickname. Everyone's an entrance. That's all it is. Ember Moon, she's like Shinobi from the fucking old school Sega Genesis game. And, you know, she's coming out there, you know, all mystical. And then she's like, let's go party! Great character development. Great consistency there, guys. Let's all, you know, everybody watching this, all stand up and give a round of applause for WWE Creator for totally fucking everything up! The Miz is backstage with the New Day. They have a top hat. There's 3 names in it. Their names. Miz wants to know who's going to be in the Money in the Bank. So, the Miz is going to reach his hand into the hat. He's going to pull out a name. He's going to find out who's going to be in the Money in the Bank from New Day. So, they tell him that he has to wear a blindfold, so they take his headband, put it over his eyes. He goes to reach in the hat, but they switch the hat with a hat that has pancake batter in it. And his hand gets all dirty. Gets pancake batter on it. Do we all get a laugh out? Was that funny? Then he takes the pancake batter and he points at Xavier Woods. The pancake batter gets on him, but nobody else gets the pancake batter. Then there's the butler that they have. He wipes his hand on him and walks away. Yeah, don't get pissed off and maybe attack one of them, you know, because they're trying to make a fool out of you. Like, this comedy here. Who, you know, I mean, honestly, really, like, are we really supposed to just think this is funny? Like, or entertaining? I will say I did laugh during this segment. It was at Big E's face. Honestly. I've said this time and time again. Out of these goofballs, Big E is the star. Do you see just the way how this guy talks and his face? It kills me because this guy could be so much more. You know, if you could, this guy could be an entertaining heel. I know that. If they really put their mind to it, they could come up with something great for him. Just have him beat the shit out of Kofi and Xavier and have him go on his own. But the face that he made and the laugh he did, it was like, I wasn't laughing at this segment, but the laugh that Big E did was pretty entertaining. Carl Anderson gets the roll up on Luke Harper. Okay, I get it's a schoolboy, but it's like they shouldn't be beating these guys. They're supposed to be unbeatable. And we already had one of the Usos roll them up already a few weeks back, and that went nowhere. You know, having the Bludgeon Brothers that are supposed to be so unbeatable, one of them lose. It's like a guy that looks like Luke Harper should be tearing this guy limb from limb. Jimmy Uso and Naomi defeated Aiden English and Lana. We hadn't seen a mixed tag match in a long time, so I guess it was, you could say, refreshing to see one. It wasn't very good, but, you know, whatever. AJ Styles and Nakamura and the contracts. I have mixed emotions about this one. Mixed feelings, we should say. I like the fact that they finally took the fucking contract signing out of the ring and it did it backstage, so it was a little bit different. So it didn't feel like the same fucking thing. It's always got to be a table in the middle of the ring, you know, every single time. You know, they just did that for Charlotte and the other girl, Carmella, yeah. So they already did that on SmackDown, so now they did something a little bit different. I liked how Nakamura was acting during this segment, how he was looking at the pen and everything. But then he threw the pen. The pen doesn't even hit AJ. I don't even think it was intended to. And they have AJ get up, and he just is like, he smacks Nakamura, and he's getting all angry and shit over a thrown pen that didn't even hit you. The fuck is he spazzing out about? It was just a bit like, you know, I know they probably told them to do that, but it was like overacted to the point of where it looked ridiculous. But then Nakamura had a pen all along in his suit, takes it out, he signs the contract. He did, you know, I will say this. I am not a Nakamura fan. Obviously, anybody knows that who subscribes to this channel or watches these videos. But, since turning him heel, he has been a lot more entertaining. And I think that they've only really, you know, they haven't even really touched the tip of the iceberg when it comes to him. They could be doing so much more with him, but, you know, we're dealing with creative. So obviously, we know we're going to get the bottom of the barrel. We're going to get the bare minimum. That's just the way they operate because they suck. Becky Lynch defeated Charlotte clean. That's about it. So, you know, Becky Lynch makes her tap out. Probably the most emphatic type of victory you could get. She picks up Charlotte. Becky then had her back turned. They didn't even have Charlotte like attack her from behind to get revenge, which would have been a nice little spot there to build up for Money in the Bank. You know, and they end the segment with just Charlotte being the loser here. So, you're going to have her lose her title, then lose to Carmella in an anticlimactic fashion. Then we're going to have her lose again to Becky Lynch. Why are you killing? Obviously, this girl's in a league of her own. This is Ric Flair's daughter. It's not just an accolade. She performs well. She looks like a star. She, you know, Charlotte comes out at WrestleMania at that robe. She looks like an undeniable star. No other woman even comes close. And then you're just going to fucking rip it all away from her and have her lose to Becky Lynch. Becky's a good wrestler and everything. I like her. You know, Becky's good, but she's no Charlotte Flair. And just to have her lose here at total randomness and not even have her, like, you know, be angry about it and maybe turn heel at the end, which she would have saved face at the end by being frustrated. You know, why is she out of it mentally? This is what Corey Graves is telling me. I'm not really understanding what's going on here. Big Cass. This promo was too long. But, I mean, it was alright. It was an okay promo, but it was really just him going on and on about Bryan being short. He's short. He's short. You know, he's short and everything. It's like, okay, we get the message. Okay, yeah, he's short. You know, it would have been good and just end it, but, I mean, we're getting the same problem. And Daniel Bryan is nowhere to be seen again. The comeback kid. And this is not the first time they've done this. I mean, it's like, okay, he took a big boot last week. We get it. But Bryan's not retaliating. No promo against Cass. Sin Cara's backstage cutting a promo. Zelina Vega comes in and interrupts. You know, he says he doesn't know what happened to Andrade. She says, are you referring to me? Andrade attacks him from behind, and I guess we're going to get a match. You know, Sin Cara hasn't been there. He hasn't been on TV in months. You know, he just shows up. I guess they needed another Mexican wrestler to face off against Andrade. I don't know if the story's true or not, that he once wore a mask and, you know, he idolized Sin Cara. How, you know, the thing is, it's like, how are they going to sell that story of anybody idolizing Sin Cara when he's lost every single match he's wrestled for the past year? Except, like, one against Corbin, right? Then you had New Day defeating The Miz, Rusev, and Samoa Joe in the main event. The Miz accidentally throws pancakes at Rusev and Samoa Joe. I'm surprised that Samoa Joe didn't pick up every single fucking pancake and stuff his fucking fat face with him. I'm very surprised that he ignored those pancakes. I'm sure that, before the match happened, you probably had one of the agents, or you had Vince McMahon come up to Joe and inform him, there's going to be pancakes during the match. Make sure you don't fucking eat them, you fat fuck. He didn't eat a single one. And I gotta, let's take a moment to give applause for Samoa Joe. Good job there, fat boy, for not eating a pancake on live television. Very well done. Well, there you go, guys. Uneventful SmackDown. They made Charlotte look like shit. What more do you want me to say? Pancake battered hands. Great entertainment, right? Fantastic shit right there. Well, there you go, guys. There's your fucking SmackDown review. It's been your YWC champ, and I'm signing out.